Now, software. We all hate the carrier bag accountancy. And hopefully your business has moved beyond that, but it's so frustrating. And it's the same for me when I go in and everything's ancient, and I can see the business owners don't want to spend the money on IT because they don't see the benefits, they don't see the gains they're going to make. So you know from using Xero, QuickBooks, etc., how much more efficient that is for your work. And we've got AI coming now. AI is going to massively, one of the first businesses going to impact is yours. And you've got to get on top of this. It's not there yet, but in the next 24 months, it's going to be happening. And those businesses that are stuck in their ways, everything's still on paper, or even if you've got Iris or CCH, you may find that those tools aren't, I know this because I've worked with them, these tools are not being kept up to date. You've only got to look at Sage and how out of date their software is. While it's a great product, it's really 20 years behind, 30 years behind in some cases where technology really should be at. Then you've got cybersecurity. This is the biggest risk to your business. And a lot of business owners, they are absolutely clueless. They've got no idea how to manage that risk. And you've got to start putting things in place. IT security is a process. It's not like you spend money on it and it's fixed. And a lot of these things cost almost nothing, if not free. But you've got to have a process for improving your cybersecurity. You've got a lot of confidential data that belongs to clients. You might have all of their customers' information. You might have all of their payroll information. This stuff is valuable for hackers. Plus, you've got your own stuff as well. Now, I'd like you to think really hard about what you're doing in terms of managing cybersecurity risk and the risk of AI, because those are two things that are going to impact your business over the next 12 months if you don't get on top of them. If you look at startups, you know what it's like. There's a lot of questions that need to be answered. And often I find, even with well-established accounting firms, there's a lot of questions and explanations that's needed. So if you want to know more about this, just contact me. I'm quite happy to have a quick chat with you. Maybe I can help. It's free of charge. I'm not going to sell you anything. If you want me to, I can. With AI, artificial intelligence, you should start playing with ChatGPT. I know that's not the only thing in AI, but you should start to understand how it's going to impact your business. It's not going to be that long. Your carrier bag accountant, this is a great example. So you've got your carrier bag builder, they turn up and say, yeah, here's my books for the last 12 months. Also, I forgot to send out my VAT return for the last 2 years. Can you sort that out at the same time? They give you all these receipts. You will be able to photograph them all, or scan them all in, and ask AI to make a set of accounts. It won't be a good set of accounts, don't get me wrong, but it will fulfill their needs. So if you're in that situation at the moment, that's going to be really frustrating. So when you're looking at your tools that you're using at the moment, you may not have any kind of sales tools. You're probably using an accounting practice management. Maybe you're using Iris, CCH, maybe you're using the Xero one. But the problem is that you're going to have to invest in new tools and the business process is going to have to change very quickly. If you're a estate agent, there's certain things that seem to come up time and time again. I thought it'd be good today to run through those things when it comes to strategic IT and leadership of your technology. The first thing that comes up time and time again is the difference between managed IT services companies and property management and sales companies, because there's a big difference in psychology. It's important to know this. Estate agents are very transactional in terms of their processes, whereas IT support companies are much more methodical and logical in terms of their processes. So you get this kind of emotional disconnect. And the way that I always hear about this are two things. The estate agents complain that the IT support is too slow, or not responsive enough, or don't know what they're doing, because there's a big difference between the way that they're managing their tasks. The IT company complains that the estate agent doesn't spend enough time making IT decisions. It's very impulsive and a lot of things are left to the last noggins, to the last possible minute. Now you know this, you'll probably recognise certainly the first issue in the IT that you have at the moment. How do you fix it? Well, obviously you change IT provider because the other one up the road is going to be way better. No, the problem is that's not going to fix the problem. The problem comes from a difference of thought, a difference of expectation about how things should be delivered. The estate agents that we manage, we're very clear about what the service level agreements are and we make sure that we deliver on that agreement. But even then people say, well, it's not fast enough, I'm not speaking to the right person. And it's because there's this perception that things have to be done instantly. And actually when it comes to IT, okay, obviously if you can't work, no one in the building can do any work, that's a big problem. But actually a lot of these tasks could be done later. There's this pressure that is put on the IT firm. Anyway, that's not what I want to talk about. What I want to talk about is what you need to do to make sure that your IT is delivering. And the big thing is to dedicate some time every quarter to speaking to your vCIO or IT manager or managed service provider, or if you haven't got something like that, get somebody like me that can help translate technobabble into English that makes sense to estate agents. because what I see is time and time again, I see money being left on the table. And like, you're a money focused business, so it's incredibly frustrating. I see old computers being used because there's no life cycle management of the IT. So life cycle management, if you've got a computer, you use it for 3 years, you throw it away, buy a new one. But because that's a continual process, and because you're mostly thinking in a transactional way, often they grind things into the ground until nothing works. And they go, now we're going to get everybody new shiny computers and these expensive screens and we're going to have these projectors and we have this display in the windows or whatever. And actually you can spend a lot of money here that isn't actually giving you any business benefit. There's a very impulsive decision-making process. And that's not what we want. We want to strategize and plan ahead. We'll have a conversation and go, what have we got coming up in the next 12 months we're going to need to spend money on. The second area that I see estate agents just wasting money on is not having the right management tools. They spend a ton of time on the phone pling-plonging information between different people, looking at emails, pling-plonging information. Now, we've got AI coming on board soon. That's going to dramatically affect how you work, and it's going to devalue your work. So you need to be absolutely clear about where your specialities lie, because like all things, technology changes with time, and we're hitting a point now it's going to change really quickly. And if you're not ready for that, you're going to be left behind, because other people can do the same service for less money and be more successful. And if you're selling properties, they get the more money. If you're renting properties, they'll be quicker at managing it. And it's going to affect my job dramatically, don't get me wrong, but your job is going to be changing dramatically in the next 12 to 24 months. So you've got to plan ahead for this as much as you can. Often I see the tools not being used effectively. With these automation systems are not set up. And because of this, everything's done manually. There's a big churn of people. People come into the business, they do some stuff, they get frustrated, they leave, because they're trying to focus on growing the business and at the same time all the service delivery. And there's no tools being used to help that. I couldn't possibly manage the number of clients I have or do any of the strategic IT stuff that I have without the right tools. But yet, some reason, a lot of estate agents think that they can work perfectly well just with 4 or 5-year-old computer, a phone, email, that's it. And I see some of them, they're not even on Office 365. And then technologies like multi-factor authentication, I've got another video to talk about that, they're not even considered because cybersecurity is not even on your radar. The biggest risk to your business. So we've got cyber to worry about, we've got artificial intelligence to worry about, we've got competitors who are going to be able to do the service for cheaper. And all these things are going to impact on your business very dramatically. And it's really important that you have a trusted advisor in terms of technology that you're using to bring that stuff to fruition, and chip away at it slowly, because it's not a big bang process. You're not selling a house, you're incrementally each month doing some stuff to move your business forward in terms of technology. And remember, technology is 10 times cheaper than people. So it's well worth spending the time, investing the money, and really getting the best you can for the MSP and for the customer, but also great opportunities. We make sure that whatever's proposed, you can deliver it, or I can help you find technical people who will do that for you, who will work really well and still make a profit and not make more support work for your team. Because if things are already on fire, which they are at some MSPs, adding more work is not what you want. We want to align the business strategy with the technology services. So you know this thing, the people go, oh, we've been waiting 2 weeks for you to set up this new staff member that we haven't told you about. Or we've got somebody starting tomorrow, can you get them a computer? We've moved offices, but we haven't bothered telling you. It's just insanity. We get this all the time, mostly with smaller businesses to be fair, but the bigger ones, some of them are equally as bad. The point here is we're having conversations about the business, about profit and loss, risk, sales, marketing, accounts, finance. Technology is just a part of that picture. And by delivering that kind of service on top of your managed IT service, you're delivering much more value to the business, much more stickiness. So that fear that you may have that somebody might suggest stuff you can't do, or you're moving too fast, or that's about having a conversation as well and not proposing stuff that's already been rejected by having that conversation, going, well, we thought about doing that, but we can't do it because of this. It's not some kind of person that's coming in from high and just going, oh, we're going to do all these fantastic things. Now, I'm an enthusiastic person, I love ideas, but I have to be realistic and discuss things with both the business and the IT managed service provider and make sure it will work. The second thing that we see is things not getting finished. This is very frustrating. Put my project management hat on, and this often happens because there's a lack of timescales, there's a lack of planning, there's a lack of project management leadership, and a lot of the time people that are doing day-to-day firefighting are the same people that are trying to get these projects over the line. So I've got lots of techniques I can help you with that. I'll do some more videos on that. Actually, it's a great subject for me to explore, this idea that how do you get stuff done when you're constantly being interrupted. Then finally, looking at a virtual Chief Information Officer, please be careful to make sure that whoever's doing it for you, whether it's me or somebody else, that they're actually delivering not just sales, not just accounts management, but real business strategy. That way you can charge the customer a premium for this service. This should form a package on top of your managed service. So if you're already doing the good, better, best thing that Nigel often suggested, Nigel Moore, you're probably familiar with this idea of like, you can just add things on. So make the vCIO service an add-on package, but you need to give some element of vCIO to everyone. And some of that can be delivered by your technical account managers. I can help you create a framework for that. I've got a tool that's absolutely fantastic, which what it will do is it will enable you to compare what the business is looking like, not your business, the customer, to other businesses, and it will give you a scale so you can say to them, hey, you're underinvesting in cybersecurity, that's putting the business at risk. Here's where your competitors are. We can also align the projects that you want to get done to the business requirements. That takes some conversations, but it's not as hard as it looks. If you know what to look for, trying to get people to say decommission ancient exchange servers or server 2003 or something ridiculous. It's about aligning the technology to the business. And once you do that, the conversation moves in a different direction. You'll find that the customer's way more engaged. And this works for both those customers who really hate IT and really not interested, and those customers that are super engaged and want to move things quicker than you want to. I'm sure you've got some like startup customers that are trying to do a million things at once and everything's on fire. Having a plan in place really helps them, and those customers that are on those legacy systems and never to spend any money, put me in front of them. It's worth trying, because you never know, I might be able to close those things you've been working on the last 5 years. Take what your team have done and make it happen. This is not about making how brilliant Dave is. This is about making your team shine and perform as well as we possibly can make them. So if that sounds interesting, get in touch, give me a call. Love to have a chat about how we could possibly work together. Thanks very much for watching, and I look forward to hearing from you. Speak soon.